It's always easy to know when Colombian women are about to lift. They scream, they yell, they whoop, and sometimes they even growl. And it's a lot of fun filming them lift because it's pretty clear that, well, they're having fun too. This was actually the first time I'd even properly filmed a Team Colombia session, and I feel like you really learn a lot about a group of people, a country, a culture, when you film them training and interacting with one another. Sure, there is of course more to a country than a random weightlifting training session, but you do honestly find out a lot. The Chinese are extremely insular, they're meticulous, they're tight-knit. The Georgians are a family, they eat together, they play together, they win and lose together as a team. Armenia gives off a totally different vibe than, say, Taiwan. But Colombia gives off the feeling of passion, fire, vibrancy. You do sense that there is a great familial love that they all share with one another, mixed in with this almost contradictory desire for one's own success, as though they want their teammates to succeed, but also they desperately need to win. And that almost incompatible, contrasting dichotomy leaks a very loud and tangible passion. I think this is the most evident with 59 kilo Concepción Úsuga, who lifts in the same category as world champion Yenny Alvarez. She can see Yenny Alvarez doing better than her every single repetition, and that's painful, and you can feel her passion and anger come through. And it's no wonder, considering where a lot of the athletes have come from. I was able to speak with one of their head coaches, coach of a world champion, who talked about how some of these athletes live in houses with entire extended families, very little space, very little money. She mentioned that one of her athletes won a major championships and was bought by the local government a house. There is little to lose in that respect and just everything to gain. And so imagine being one of the top athletes and finding out that the World Championships is in your home country, or even home city of Bogota for many of them. Who knows what the prize was for winning at these championships? I'm hoping to find out via some contacts. But I'm sure a house is without a doubt in the running, plus more potentially. It's no wonder that on the first official training session, in a massive training hall which was placed within an enormous hangar filled with athletes from other countries from all around the world, that the Colombians would turn up and make a noise, let everybody know that they're here, make certain that all of the other athletes, who are in a sense trying to prevent them from winning that house, are aware that they are here to fight, to battle it out. And I think that paints the backdrop to this session quite well. And this session was the heaviest session in the training hall. They all pushed up to or beyond 90% of the best snatch and clean and jerk. Some of them went to maximum, to failure. Yenny Alvarez was also in this session, but I turned her session into its own video, which if you haven't seen yet, you can. She is in this video, but just later on in one of their other training sessions, which I just had to include because it shows the redemption of Concepción, which I think is pretty cool. You can see her in this video getting more and more frustrated as she clean and jerks, and then she comes back later on and makes the lift, and it's just this absolute passionate overload, an expression of joy and anger and frustration and all of these emotions all in one.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Weightlifting accessories, or bodybuilding training, accounts for a decent amount of your training as a weightlifter, but which exercises you choose makes a big difference. Accessories can help you increase your squat, but also they can bolster a technical issue, like a collapsing upper back or a wobbly overhead. So whether you do hip extensions or bicep curls, lateral raises or bent over lateral raises, presses or rows, you want to make sure that you are doing the best accessory exercises for you. And at Weightlifting AI, we know exactly which accessories you personally need to do, because we know everything about your training. And it's often different to what a lot of other weightlifters are doing. We have hundreds of accessories which are all ordered and tagged to different strength and technical issues, and in combination, we prescribe the perfect exercises for you to improve. Try the best programming in the world for free with code 2weektrial. Head to weightlifting.ai now to get started. At these World Championships, Colombia came second behind China, which is absolutely astonishing. In fact, they won on the men's side and took bronze on the women's. Their increased passion made the difference to move them up ahead of the likes of Thailand, Georgia, the USA, and other weightlifting Goliaths. They ended up with 3 gold medals, 5 silvers, and 16 bronzes. And to go back briefly to the idea that you learn a lot about a country, or at least the subtleties of relationships and communications when you watch them train, I think that that's because you're seeing these athletes in a relatively extreme situation. The pressure has risen, and so you see people in many ways default to their habitual responses to the situations and obstacles that might present themselves. They get louder or quieter. They respond with nervous energy or an overconfident display of noise. And it was clear that the Colombians default to what they seem to do best, which is to play upbeat music, lift weights, yell at themselves and one another, dance around, and just really be in the moment as much as possible. Please like and subscribe.
Muy bien, con pierna.